Welcome, kind listener. My name is Gentle Fox. You may not know me now, but by the end of this masterpiece, you will, and I trust you'll think of me as an old friend. What you'll be hearing tonight is an excerpt from our Twitch stream. I hope you'll enjoy that extra ambiance and my soft-spoken voice as we explore Leo Tolstoy's classic, Anna Karenina. Chapter 2. Stepan Arkadyevich was a truthful man concerning his own self. He could not deceive himself into believing that he repented of his behavior. He could not now be repentant that he, a 34-year-old, handsome, amorous man, did not feel amorous with his wife, the mother of 5 living and 2 dead children, who was only a year younger than he. He repented only that he had not managed to conceal things better from her. But he felt all the gravity of his situation and pitied his wife, his children, and himself. Perhaps he would have managed to hide his sins better from his wife had he anticipated that the news would have such an effect on her. He had never thought the question over clearly, but vaguely imagined that his wife had long suspected him of being unfaithful to her, and was looking the other way. It even seemed to him that she, a worn-out, aged, no longer beautiful woman, not remarkable for anything, simple, merely a kind mother of a family, ought in all fairness to be indulgent. It turned out to be quite the opposite. Terrible, terrible, Stepan Arkadyevich repeated in himself, and could come up with nothing. And how nice it was all before that. What a nice life we had. She was content, happy with the children. I didn't hinder her in anything, let her to fuss over them and household however she liked. True, it's not nice that she used to be a governess in our house. Not nice. There's something trivial, banal, in courting one's own governess. But what a governess! He vividly recalled Mademoiselle Roland's dark, roguish eyes and her smile. But while she was in our house, I never allowed myself anything, and the worst of it is that she's already... It all had to happen at once. But what to do? What to do? There was no answer, except the general answer his life gives to all the most complex and insoluble questions. That answer is one must live for the needs of the day. In other words, become oblivious. To become oblivious in dreams was impossible now, at least till night-time. It was impossible to return to that music sung by carafe women, and no one had to become oblivious in the dream of life. We'll see later on, Stepan Arkadyevich said to himself, and getting up, he put on his gray dressing gown with the light blue silk lining, threw the tasseled cord into a knot, and, drawing a goodly amount of air into the broad box of his chest, went up to the window with the customary brisk step of his splayed feet, which so easily carried his full body, raised the blind, and rang loudly. In response to the bell, his old friend, The valet, Matvey, came at once, bringing clothes, boots, and a telegram. Behind Matvey came the barber with the shaving things. "Any papers from the office?" Stepan Arkadyevich asked, taking the telegram and sitting down in front of the mirror. "On the table," Matvey replied, glancing inquiringly with sympathy at his master, and after waiting a little, he added with a sly smile, "Someone came from the owner of the livery stable." Stepan Arkadyevich said nothing in reply, and only glanced at Matvey in the mirror. From their eyes, which met in the mirror, one could see how well they understood each other. Stepan Arkadyevich's eyes seemed to ask, "Why are you saying that? As if you didn't know." Matvey put his hands in his jacket pocket, thrust one foot out, looked at his master silently, good-naturedly, with a slight smile. "I told them to come next Sunday, and then not to trouble you or themselves needlessly." He uttered an obviously prepared phrase. Stepan Arkadyevich understood that Matvey wanted to joke and attract attention to himself. Tearing open the telegram, he read it, guessing at the right sense of the words, which were garbled as usual, and his face brightened. "Matvey, my sister Anna Arkadyevna is coming tomorrow," he said, stopping for a moment with the glossy, plump little hand of the barber, who was clearing a pink path between his long, curly side whiskers. "Thank God," said Matvey, showing by this answer that he understood the significance of this arrival in the same way as his master, that is, that Anna Arkadyevna, Stepan Arkadyevch's beloved sister, might contribute to the reconciliation of husband and wife. "Alone, or with her spouse?" asked Matvey. Stepan Arkadyevich, unable to speak because the barber was occupied with his upper lip, raised one finger. Matvey nodded in the mirror. "Alone. Shall I prepare the rooms upstairs?" "Tell Darya Alexandrovna, wherever she decides." "Darya Alexandrovna?" Matvey repeated, as if in doubt. "Yes, tell her. And here, take the telegram. Let me know what she says." Testing her out, Matvey understood, but he said only, "Very well, sir." Stepan Arkadyevich was already washed and combed, and was about to start dressing, when Matvey, stepping slowly over the soft rug in his creaking boots, telegram in hand, came back into the room. The barber was no longer there. "Darya Alexandrovna told me to inform you that she is leaving. Let him do as he, that is, you, pleases," he said, laughing with his eyes only, and putting his hands in his pockets, and cocking his head to one side. He looked fixedly at his master. Stepan Arkadyevich said nothing. Then a kind and somewhat pathetic smile appeared on his handsome face. Matvey?" he said, shaking his head. "Never mind, sir. It'll shape up," said Matvey. "Shape up? That's right, sir." "You think so? Who's there?" Stepan Arkadyevich asked, hearing the rustle of a woman's dress outside the door. "It's me, sir," said a firm and pleasant female voice, and through the door peeked the stern, pockmarked face of Matryona Filimonovna, the nanny. "What is it, Matryoshka?" Stepan Arkadyevich asked, going out of the door to her. Although Stepan Arkadyevich was roundly guilty before his wife, and felt it himself, almost everyone in the house, even the nanny, Darya Alexandrovna's best friend, was on his side. "Well, what is it?" he said dejectedly. "You should go to her, sir. Apologize again. Maybe God will help." She's suffering very much. It's a pity to see, and everything in the house has gone topsy-turvy. The children should be pitied. Apologize, sir. No help for it. After the dance, you must pay the... But she won't receive me. Still, you do your part. God is merciful. Pray to God, sir. Pray to God. Well, all right. Go now, said Stepan Arkadyevich, suddenly blushing. Let's get me dressed. He turned to Matvey and resolutely threw off his dressing gown. Matvey was already holding the shirt like a horse collar, blowing away something invisible, and with obvious pleasure he clothed the pampered body of his master in it. End of chapter 2.